John, can you hear me? John, can you hear me? John, can you hear me? You can't hear in there. It's coming through, but we can't hear it. Yeah.
They just have a very different approach.
Well, we can turn the level down, but we can't hear it now.
I know that's a problem.
There's 1 million people who look at that. I mean, if you can stream those, stream them on the website, I don't know. And I can do it with visuals on my television.
It was pretty great to their 10 o'clock hit of their 10 o'clock. So it's a big story. Yeah.
Because we try to get something on our students or something on
No.
Mic check test 1 2. Check 1 2. Can you hear me? All right. Okay.
That's all I need, and they'll do me something. We just
All right. I want to welcome everyone to the October 19th, 2017 meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Tarrant County College District. We begin our meeting with public comment, and we have a large group here tonight from the Sigma swim team. We also have a very packed agenda, so I've asked Dr. Hobb to select just a few of his representatives to speak to us. And Dr. Hobb, if you want to approach this podium right here where the microphone is, we'll lead off with you, and then you can introduce the others.
My name is Andrew Ha. I am a coach for Sigma Swimming, and I'm here to plead to you to save the swimming program at TCC Northwest. We are one of only 3 nonprofits in Fort Worth who teach children how to swim. We are the only nonprofit who rents a TCC pool to teach children water safety and swimming, provide an after-school youth program, and coach a nationally ranked competitive swim team. We prevent drownings and save lives. This last year has been difficult. We have had 5 administrator changes in the last 2 years, with 3 of the 5 occurring in just the last year. It is no surprise that the incident last December occurred when the administrator who was overseeing our contract at that time abused her power, which then resulted in the verbal and emotional abuse of our children at her hands. This was all captured on video by parents, police body cams, and facility security cameras. President Appleman, Chancellor Giovannini, Vice Chancellor LeBlanc, and Vice President Grant handled the situation with compassion, logic, and prompt action. It could not have been handled better. For 4 months after the incident, we returned to the same peace we had for years prior, peace with Lieutenant Lee's police department and the college. And then change occurred yet again, and we had a new interim vice president, one who had great influence on the new Northwest president, Dr. Blankenbaker. She herself stated in a conversation with us that both she and TCC had no issues with us. The interim VP enacted policies that no other TCC campus thought reasonable for their lessees, initially presenting us with a 12-month contract in the amount of $557,000, billing us for 20 hours per week even though we only use the pool for 14 hours per week, increasing our rent by 233%. Our monthly rent went from $4,200 to $14,000, while those same other organizations have remained at $2,000 to $3,000 per month. There's no pool in the country charging these rates. The Olympic Training Center does not charge these rates. If you would please consider the following questions. Would TCC raise tuition on students by 233%? Would TCC be apathetic towards the budgetary needs and personal finances of its students? Would TCC implement tuition policies before doing market research? Would TCC charge its students tuition for classes they don't take? Would TCC allow one campus to charge 366% more per credit hour than the other 4 TCC campuses? Would TCC allow an interim vice president who has been on the job less than 3 months to execute all of the aforementioned on a not-for-profit organization that has no history of negligence and misdeeds, and who has a relationship in good standing with the TCC staff and department it sees on a daily basis? All of the aforementioned have occurred and are occurring. It doesn't have to be this way. The 1,784 people who have signed this petition also believe it doesn't have to be this way. This is a situation in which a board, an administrator, a president can say enough. This is not the right way to treat people. This is not the right way to treat our taxpayers. This is not the right way to treat our customers. This is not the right way to treat our community. This is not the right way to treat our children. This violates Goal 3 of our visioning process. This is not the TCC way. In closing, I would like to reiterate that what we are looking for is a fair rental agreement by returning us to our previous contract price. These terms would be more than fair since we would still be paying nearly double what other TCC pool lessees are paying. Please help us as we have exhausted all options and which is why we are here tonight. Thank you for your time. At this time, I'd like to bring Cameron Bell to speak. She is one of our swimmers at TCC Northwest.
Hi, I'm Cameron Bell. I'm 13. I've been swimming at Sigma for almost 3 years now. I don't know. I think it'd just be fair if, swimming is just really important to a lot of us here. It brings off stress. It's something that we can do. And I've met so many awesome and cool people swimming. And if it's just, taken away from us, it's not being taken away, but if we can't swim there because we can't pay it, I don't know what to do. I have nothing to do. It doesn't make sense to me that we'd have to pay more than 3 other locations just to swim in a pool that anybody else can use, right? So, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you.
And then our other swimmer is Chloe Merrick.
I'm honored I've been chosen to speak to you today. My name is Chloe Merrick, and I'm a junior in high school who swims with Sigma. I discovered my passion for this sport last September. The Eagle Mountain Saginaw School District is blessed to have a USA Swim Club in the area. Because of the awesome coaches Sigma employs, I now have a desire and goal of competitively swimming in college. Since enrolling, I have been able to grow and improve in stroke mechanics and techniques that have given birth to that dream. I hope that the club and my dream will be able to continue despite the policy changes introduced by TCC. Thanks to Sigma, I now have a chance to make it in the college sports world. Sigma is helping kids pursue their dreams. Please remember this as you make your decision. Thank you for your time.
And then our last person is Tara Blair, who's a mother of one of our swimmers and also a CPA.
Thank you. My name is Tara Blair. I have 2 swimmers on the Sigma swim team. Swimming is dear to my heart. I swam as a kid, and I was a lifeguard, and I participated in a lot of aquatics. Swimming teaches so much more than just the mechanics of actually swimming. Saving lives is tremendously important. That is so much about what Sigma does, but it's also about building character and building these kids. I can tell you that personally, my son, both of my sons, have just an incredible work ethic, and part of it is intensely related to what they do for swimming. They know that they have swim practice. They know they have to get their schoolwork done before they get to practice. They know that they have focus and they have goals to reach. It's taught them that they want to get a little bit better at something, and it's about their internal goals. And it spreads to every part of their life, and it is so very important. And it would be a real tragedy to lose access to a swim program like this up in the Northwest corridor. There's just not any other pools in that area, and we need this pool. We need this pool very, very desperately. So I'm here as a parent, I'm here as a mother, as an aquatics lover, as a swim team lover, to just plead with you to please help us. I'm also a CPA. I've looked at the numbers. I've gone through them over and over and over with our coach. It's not sustainable. We have already lost families who can't afford to pay the increased rates. And we did not impose the increase that TCC imposed on us. TCC is charging us 233% more than what we were paying last year. If we applied that to our parents, that would be me personally for one of my sons. I would be paying over $400 for one son to swim. That is not, there's very few people that can afford that or will afford that for a sustainable period. We're offering scholarships, but those scholarships, a lot of people, they're nervous about asking for those. So they choose to unenroll their children, which is already happening. We really, really just want to keep the program. We just love it so much. Our coach is fabulous. I can't tell you how great he is. This has been so very difficult on him. So please, please, please just help us out. We really, really, really want to keep the program at TCC. We want to be good partners with you guys. We love it there. Thank you.
thank all of you for coming. We appreciate your commitment to your children and to the program. I will have to explain to you that it's not within the purview of this board to act on this matter, and I've explained that to Dr. Ha and some of the others before. This board sets policy. We determine the budget for the operation of the district, and we hire and fire the chancellor, and that's it. Your contract is with the Northwest campus, and so we are required to return the issue to the leadership team at the Northwest campus, and I feel sure that they will visit with you again. I know you've had a number of meetings, but that is the next step. So you're welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting, but this is the end of this discussion on this matter. Thank you for coming. All right, we'll move on to board action items and board business related items. The approval of the minutes of the meeting of September 21st, 2017. Motion to approve. Mr.
Second.
Heed, seconded by Dr. Evans. Any corrections or additions, comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Trustee and committee, reports. The governance committee did meet with faculty and staff to approve the agenda as you see it tonight. Mr. Greenhill, Audit and Finance Committee.
Yes, I have a rather lengthy report because we did meet. And by the way, I am a swimmer. I go to TCU every other day, and it's an enjoyable sport. It does relax you, I guarantee it, if you don't sink. But I really enjoy swimming as an exercise because my knees are too bad. I can't do anything else. But anyway, the Audit and Finance Committee meeting did meet on October the 5th to receive reports from our internal auditor. The first report related to the Aleutian Central Help Desk. The district has a contract with Aleutian to provide central help desk services, and because the services are pretty expensive, the objective of the report was to determine if the invoices submitted to the district have been in compliance with the contract. The scope of the audit was from January the 1st of this year to June of this year. The finding was that the invoices are in compliance with the contract. Now, the second report was a follow-up report on certain data quality report made in regard to, I think it's the number of resident students in our undergraduate courses. There was a review in October of previous year, and there was a finding that there were some discrepancies about who was a resident and who was not, and the auditor requested that the management do make some changes to make it better, and the follow-up report said yes, the changes have been made to make the report better on undergraduate students. The auditor, however, our internal auditor, Nathan Ferguson, did suggest and recommended that same kind of controls and processes to be used for our workforce development, for our continuing education programs to see who is a resident and not a resident. This is a very complicated process of who's a resident, not a resident, but that was accepted. Finally, there was a report on director expenses and whether or not they're in compliance with the policies of the district, and the answer was yes. Our expenses are within the, we do follow the rules in regard to expenses. Finally, the internal auditor reported that every year the internal auditor, we're required by law to submit an internal audit report, which is filed, which is we accepted and is filed with the district, and is, I think, on our website or will be in due course. Any questions about audit? I've got the figures here if you need it, and I can talk to you later. Another matter is that the Board of Trustees adopted a resolution at its regular meeting held on September the 21st, our last meeting, adopting the revised investment policy. I have been advised that the board should ratify that action. What I'm talking about is not the mineral rights policy. I'm talking only about the policy itself, not the subset of it, meaning being the mineral rights policy. So for purposes of discussion, I move that the board ratify the resolution adopted by the board on September 21st, 2017, adopting the district's investment policy as opposed, and this does not include the mineral rights policy.
Second.
Seconded by Dr. Evans. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And secondly, on behalf of the committee, I'd like to just make an announcement that the mineral rights policy discussion, we're not going to ratify that at this time. We're going to defer that for further discussion. And that's just an announcement that the mineral rights policy is under discussion at this time, and we'll get back to you. Stay tuned. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Greenhill. Dr. Evans, I think you've been the anointed appointed one to report.
I have been the anointed and
Leadership
appointed
Congress.
one. Yes, ma'am. To report on the Association of Community College Trustees, the ACCT meeting. Meeting that took place September 25th through the 28th in Las Vegas, Nevada. But we were made to know that we were actually in the city of paradise. I just thought people would know that. But anyway, myself, Conrad Heed, Bill Greenhill, Reginald Gates, and Dr. Giovannini, we attended together. And there are some things that I did learn, and that is the purpose of the Congress and ACCT that I'd like to report on. And that is to foster the principles and practices of exemplary governance while promoting high quality and affordable higher education, cutting edge workforce development training, student success, and other opportunities for all individuals to achieve economic self-sufficiency and security. While we were meeting those few days, there were about 6 points, I think, that were highlighted, and I promised you that I was not going to preach this, so I'm just going to give these 6 points real quick, and I'll be done. The first one is boardsmanship, where we value accountability, integrity, and transparency. We attended sessions that dealt with boardmanship that would help us to understand who and what we are to measure now that we are embarking on the guided pathway, so that the things that we're asking for in regard to data and accountability, that they can be reasonable requests. The second is advocacy to advance equitable and open access to higher education by representing the interests of community colleges at the national level and so on and so forth. We attended a session on DACA and how colleges are to and can advocate on behalf of those students. Third, student success. What that is to promote innovative policies, services that foster completion, workforce training, and transfer. We heard from San Jacinto College, Austin Community College. We heard from Lone Star College as well. And they talked to us about student success. One of the sessions was Student Success 101. And that was, again, dealt with promoting innovative policies and services that help to foster student success. The other was innovation. Number 4, embracing experimentation, risk-taking, and the evolution of the community college model as we know it today. We received presentations from the colleges in Maryland, New Jersey, and California. And this talked to board members, trustees in particular, about the willingness to invest in the Pathways process. The other is diversity, sustaining values of inclusion, respect, support for the commitment to diversity. We heard from Cesar Conde, whose topic was Hispanics Transforming the American Landscape. He's the chairman of NBC Universal International Group and NBC Universal Telemundo Enterprises. The other was Dr. Lonnie Johnson, inventor of the Super Soaker, a African-American aerospace engineer with NASA, former Air Force officer, president, founder of Johnson Research and Development Company. And his topic was innovation as a path, and he talked about the development of alternative sources of energy. And finally, service, the elevation and honoring the importance of public service through role modeling, mentorship, and recognition. And we were able to talk about some of the things that we've done ourselves as a college. And that is my 6 points and a poem,
Very good.
Madam President.
Thank you so much.
All right.
You know, you're always in trouble when you turn the podium loose to a minister.
To the
but he
preacher.
did. He did just great. Praise the Lord. Do any of the others of you want to add to the report?
I would like to add that since this was our Leadership Congress, we also elected members of the Board of Trustees, Board of the ACT, and also for Diversity Committee and the other committees within ACT. So that's a very important aspect of the Congress, that reason why we attend. And like all of these conferences we go to, we learn so much, and we network with trustees from all over the country and learn new things and bring back fresh new ideas, and it's very worthwhile. It was in Las Vegas. We got out before anything happened, too. That was another good thing.
Thank you all for going. Mr. Greenhill? No?
Oh, yeah,
Yes?
well, I was just going to say that we did, among other things, we did have a reception for the CCATT, which is our state organization for trustees. And it's always good to meet with the trustees and administrators of other of our community college, our brothers and sisters in the other colleges. As I told you, on June the 2nd, the first weekend in June, the CCATT and the BOAT meetings will be here in Fort Worth, and we're going to be the host. And they had a mariachi band that was just absolutely fabulous, and I heard one from Northside that we're going to invite to this thing. We were there at a function. They were absolutely marvelous. So, is it Mr. Nino? Mr. Nino. Yeah, I was looking for the tilde in that email that you sent me, but I couldn't find it. But it was a lot of fun to be with those people as well.
All right. Thank you all for going and bringing us your Cliff Notes back. I know we'll hear more about it. Dr. Morrison, do you want to report on the South Campus 50th celebration?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And congratulations are in order to Dr. Peter Jordan, who led a very dedicated planning committee to execute an outstanding event celebrating 50 years of excellence in education at TCC South. It was a very inclusive planning committee, and it was a wonderful event. And if you missed it, well, you missed it. Also, I want to say that Dr. Madison was able to get in on a little bit of the 50th celebration because he presided over a celebration celebrating 50 years of nursing at TCC. And, of course, it began at the TCC South Campus. And some members from that very first class were there, including my neighbor and school board member, Christine Moss. She must have been a mere teenager when she went into that class. That was awesome. And also, on that day, there was several activities going on South Campus on that date. There was a math conference, and the 6th annual ICC, Intergenerational Community Conversation, took place. And as a part of that, we had invited out the chairman and members from the City of Fort Worth Task Force on Race and Culture, who participated and during the ICC. And student participation was led by Dr. Larry Rideau. We had a wonderful cross-section of faculty and staff and students and community people involved in that discussion. The Chancellor was there. I think that's a picture from that. So it was a great day in the neighborhood on TCC South Campus on September 30th. And as a reminder, to close out the celebration, to celebrate 50 years of excellence, and to raise some funds, you are asked to save April the 7th. On your calendar, it's a Saturday, and we'll have a masquerade ball. So we'll also be having fun, but we'll be raising funds, F-U-N-D-S. So I was happy to be able to participate with that. And my final reminder is my purple glasses to remind you that October is the month where we bring awareness to many problems that address our population. Domestic violence awareness, pancreatic cancer awareness, lupus awareness, and sarcoidosis awareness, the 4 that I'm aware of. And I hope you've enjoyed the gorgeous pictures and the representation Thank you again, Dr. Jordan, for your untiring effort, and Dr. Madison for the great job that you did with the nursing celebration. Thank you, Madam President and Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor.
It's been a busy month. Ms. Ayala, your turn.
Say, it has been a busy month.
The scholarship banquet on Northwest.
Trinity, I had the opportunity to participate in the 8th annual Abrazando del Exito event, which is Embracing Success. It's a scholarship banquet. It was held on October 5th, and we were graciously hosted by Dr. Serena Blankenbaker and her staff. They did a remarkable job. Thank you very much. It's a district-wide collaboration that celebrates, it honors, recognizes, and inspires Latino students that are committed to higher education. Approximately 200 people attended, and that includes students, staff, faculty, all the members of the CELT were there, and our Chancellor, Ms. Appleman, Executive Vice Chancellor LeBlanc attended, and there were several community members that attended as well. There were students there from the Latino STEM Fellowship Camp that we have going on now, and there were students that were representing all of the early college high schools, representing several ISDs and parochial schools throughout Tarrant County. The theme for the event was Noche de Culturas, and it celebrated the spirit of education, of culture, of family and community. Approximately close to 40 scholarships have actually been given over the 8-year period, and since the first event. And that night there were 7 scholarships that were given. 6 of the scholarships were given to students that participated in something called Cultura Project. And what they did was it was a creative expression of their culture, either in the form of music, of dance, of poetry, or of art. And then another student was actually granted a scholarship, was awarded a scholarship, Jonathan Bettis, who's a student at Northwest Campus, he was also given a scholarship for the foundation. So another highlight of the event was a panel that consisted of both current and former students of Tarrant County College. And they each kind of gave their personal experience and pathway on their educational journey, and they talked about the impact that Tarrant County, or the role that Tarrant County College played in making sure that there's a conducive environment to learning, and they also talked about the impact of culture. Congratulations to everyone involved. I know that it was the Office of Institutional Diversity and Inclusion. The TCC Tache chapter was also very actively involved. And then, of course, all the campus presidents and their staff as well. And I wanted to also recognize that the State Board of Tache did make a contribution to the Abrazando el Exito scholarship that we have through the foundation. So overall, the event was just a celebration of achievement. It was a celebration of inspiration as well, and I think that everybody left there feeling, jubilant. We felt energized, and I think overall we felt connected and very optimistic. Thank you.
It was a nice evening. Who's going to report on the AACC Pathways briefing? It's on my agenda, but I don't
know.
Conrad?
I guess. Go ahead, Conrad.
It looks like everyone's pointing at you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm well prepared for this. Well, we actually, going back to the ACCT conference, we actually had 3 presentations, or I went to 3 presentations. Yeah, I know, yeah. But 3 presentations on other colleges that have been through the Pathways Project, and that was kind of a really good lead-in to this. 2 of them, well, there was 30 colleges in the original program, 3 in Texas, and 1 was in San Jacinto, the other was in Alamo, and they both made presentations at the ACT Congress. And then we also had one, the last session of the last day was given by the gentleman that gave us Rob Johnston. Who gave us our presentation while he was here. And they're converting all of the community colleges in California to the Guided Pathways program. And he's very, very knowledgeable. He met with us, with the trustees, but this was his second visit to the college. And he is helping to guide TCC through the Guided Pathways project. And it's a long process. It's kind of revolutionary. I mean, it's not going to be easy for anybody, but it's something that I think is going to yield incredible results down the road, keeping students in school and helping them stay on their pathways. And by the way, I don't know if you all know this, but the state passed House Bill 5 that requires high schools now to get their students to select a career path in high school. So it's not something that's going to hold them to that, but at least it gets them to think about what they're going to do with their life. Why is it important to take math and pass math, or et cetera, et cetera? And so that will lead into what we're doing in our guided pathways, and I think the results are going to be significant. So we're anxious to get into it. I know we're already started, but it's going to be good.
Thank you.
Can I just make a little comment? When I was going to this meeting, I went by, and I don't know what the name of the conference, what it was, but it was a very large group of people with impaired hearing and having something going on. It was absolutely amazing. It was wonderful. There was not a word said, and they were training and so forth and so on. I thought, this is what this college is all about. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to make that.
One of our best programs. Backing up a little bit, I think this is from South Campus, Dr. Jordan. Thank you. And Dr. Jordan and I had do you have the white thing with you? In case you're wondering what the little white thing was in your gift pack, who knows what that's for? Not stamps, not business cards. It's to prop your cell phone. We had to have a show and tell to figure it out. Don't tell anybody. None of the trustees could figure it out. And speaking of South Campus, congratulations to the energy technology folks. They have a wonderful new partnership with Fiat-Chrysler. Automotive, sorry. We were in the energy technology building. And I had the pleasure of going out and meeting some really interesting people. The young blonde girl there in the middle is sort of their liaison across the country for all of these guys who do car work. And she's in touch with community colleges and other training centers around the country. Just a fascinating woman. And we had quite a nice cross-representation of dealerships from around this area, and then several of the corporate people were down from Minnesota and other places. So, again, another step forward for South Campus and TCC. Do you want to add to that at all? It's
a wonderful partnership.
Great. Thank you. Glad to be there. We've mentioned the nursing program and their nice event on the plaza, the weather being perfect, and a lot of celebration of young and old nurses. And then the Book Fest was on your campus over the weekend. How did that go? Big crowd. Here's some pictures.
The inaugural Book Fest and as planned.
Great. Awesome. There's Reba Carey. Reba Henry. Reba Carey. And she, bless her heart, she has worked on this for over a year. I was in on some of the early meetings, and I just couldn't even believe it was going to happen, but I understand it was quite successful. Who got down there? Did you get there?
I attended. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful family event. There was something for every age group, and it was really nice to be able to meet the actual authors. So we really enjoyed that as well.
Great.
So, thank you very much. A lot of work was put into it. It really was. It was a community effort too. The mayor was there. I know that Fort Worth ISD board president was there. The chancellor was there, and of course all of the staff there that was supporting. So it was very well organized. Thank you very much for hosting.
Thank you for going. Speaking of reading, Dr. Reynolds, stand up. I'm going to give you a public shout out. Again, I was in on some of the early meetings of the literacy effort through the Fort Worth ISD, and other organizations. And then I asked Rosemary Reynolds to start attending meetings. They promptly put her in charge of one of the subcommittees. So I owe you chocolate. Thank you for representing us so well. She and a principal from the Eagle Mountain are co-chairs, and we're in very good hands there. So thank you so much. Anybody else? Anything else? We move into the consent agenda, which is asking you to approve the course material fees for Inclusive Access Textbook Pilot Program. You got that material in your packet from Dr. McClendon. Any comments, questions? Motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved.
Second.
Who made the motion? I heard Dr. Patrick, thank you, and Dr. Evans seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, college presentation, Dr. Giovannini.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Selfman. Dr. LeBlanc will provide a presentation relating partnerships with the secondary schools, and of course that's reflective of one of our principals in high schools as one principal, if you will. So Dr. LeBlanc, please.
Let's see. Good evening, Mrs. Appleman, Dr. Giovannini, board members. It's a pleasure to give you an update this evening on our partnerships with the public schools and private schools. So that's why we put secondary schools, because we're working with a lot of different groups. So Dr. Jordan gave you an expensive gift. I gave you cheap chocolates. So you'd be happy during the presentation, okay? The partnerships involve every campus and is an example of how we are working toward the three goals: to function as one college in order to provide a consistent and successful student experience, to ensure the college is student ready, and to serve the community. The partnerships, as Dr. Giovannini mentioned, speaks to one of the principles, which is building and maintaining strong partnership with the public schools, and as I mentioned, other groups as well. There are many benefits to these partnerships. It allows for seamless transition from secondary to post-secondary education. Mr. Heed mentioned pathways. We actually start the conversation about pathways when the students are in middle school, and we continue through high school so that we will help them make better decisions for themselves. It does increase access to college credit for high schools, which again, you mentioned House Bill 5. There's House Bill 505 and other legislation that has led toward increasing the access for these students. It does support the Coordinating Board Strategic Plan 60x30, which all of you are well versed on that. And it prepares a future workforce, establishes an opportunity for students to transfer to other institutions when they finish here, and it creates a culture at the high schools of attending college as something that they can strive for. So the partnerships for dual credit in early college high schools are significant. We currently are serving 55 different public schools, and I wanted to show you, these are in alpha order, and when I say we, it's all of the campuses are participating in some form or fashion, and you can see the diversity of the high schools. And I just want to point out, we always talk about independent school districts in Texas. That means that every high school principal is independent, and we have to negotiate and visit with each and every one of them. We also have 8 private high schools that are participating in dual enrollment. So that's a significant amount of stakeholders. And it's important to mention because the campus presidents and their staff work very hard at those relationships continuously. So we operate as one college, in that we use the same template in developing the MOUs with the independent school districts and private schools that we serve at, that for all of them, and they are reviewed by our legal department. Angela loves reviewing those MOUs, don't you, Angela? She looks forward to it every time we bring it to her. It is only in recent years that we started tracking the dual credit students and early college high school students. The data we do have suggests continued growth and success. The success rate, for example, for completion rate for the dual credit is 90% success rate as compared to 70% with our regular first-time in college students. And the increase in enrollments is significant. From 2016 to 2017, we had a 10% increase. We really have over 8,000 students in dual credit. In terms of retention, so in 2010, let me back up. In 2010, we started tracking small cohorts of students to determine retention and completion rates. The cohorts were defined as students who were new to Tarrant County College dual credit program in the fall term, so that we would be able to compare them to first time in college regular students. In terms of retention, this is a little bit busy, but the big picture is that the dual credit students do significantly better than the regular first time in college cohort of students. For example, the cohort that started fall of 2011, 84% of the dual credit students were retained as compared to 50% of the regular first time in college student cohort. So the story is that they do very well. They, like the first time in college regular students, they tend to transfer to UTA. A significant number of our students go to UTA, University of North Texas, and Tarleton, which is part of the A&M system, so we put the A&M logo up there. Plus, I kind of did Aggie work, so it fit. In terms of completion rate, 31% of the dual credit students finish a certificate and or degree in 5 years, as compared to 15% of the first time in college degree seeking students. And when I say 5 years, they're really technically finishing in 4 because they've started in high school, and so they do extremely well. Major takeaways are that the retention and completion rates are more positive for the dual credit students than our regular first time in college students. Another important partnership that has made a significant difference is early college high school. We currently have over 2,000 unduplicated headcount. Typically, these students are the first in their family to attend college. Many of them, English is their second language, and they have a lot of barriers to overcome. And you see that the numbers on each campus are significant. When we talk about the goal of ensuring the college is student ready, the campuses provide bridge programs and specialized services. The partnership requires a lot of collaboration between the independent school district and the Tarrant County College at every level. Campus personnel make it look easy, but it's quite complex, and they dedicate a significant amount of time to ensuring the college is student ready and these students are successful. Examples are academic support services that I have listed there. And it depends, for example, the ACE Aviation, they do recruit from all over, all the districts. However, it's usually the districts that are nearby that are more likely to take advantage of it. However, every campus has the bridge programs and other support systems for the early college high school students to be successful. I also want to report at the district level, they've been working for a couple of years, David Jimenez and his group, for the dual credit students to be able to register themselves. Up to this point, we were having them fill out paperwork, and we were doing everything by paper. We started that self-registration this week, and it's been very successful. I think David was worried so much that it just worked out great. So we're really pleased with that. I want to mention the early college, high school recognitions and accomplishments. All of the Tarrant County College, early college high schools have earned recognitions, which speaks to our commitment to our students. Yesterday, if you were listening to public radio, you might have learned that one of the Southeast Campus early college high school teachers received the Milken Educator Award. Her name is Jennifer Fuller. She received a modest $25,000 award and recognition, national recognition. Other examples are listed there, and each one required a tremendous amount of work on the part of the students, on the part of the faculty and the staff that supported those students. So we are excited about addressing the 3 goals and 8 principles. The partnerships with the public schools is one example that I can give you. And that concludes my presentation. I don't know if there are any questions.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And that applause is for all of you, because I know this has been extra duty in a way to try to create and manage these programs.
Ms. Appleman, turn your microphone.
Sorry. So thank you all very, very much for your efforts in that, on behalf of those students, as well as the other students that we have. Any questions of Dr. LeBlanc? Comments?
She's gone.
Where did
She's gone.
She abandoned
outta
us?
here.
No, there she is. She's on row 2, hiding in the second row. All right, that is quite an extraordinary and impressive report. We thank all
I
of
guess
you.
I have a question. Are we trying to expand our early college high schools? Are we going to? We have how many now? 8, is it?
Yes. So there are several models of early college high school. We are implementing 2 of them. One is where you have the students actually on campus, and one where you go to the high school and offer the early college high school there. South Campus is the one that has both models right now, and both are very successful. And Southeast, excuse me, that's right.
But are we going to add
So
more high schools?
there's potential for adding more, provided we're able to work with the districts and have the early college high school at their campuses. I know that all of the presidents are currently working with those districts that we don't have an early college high school with yet, and the conversation is focused on having the early college high school at the school district, which in some ways works really well for them. If we had done that with Lake Worth, we would still be there because it's such a small place that when they removed the students for early college high school, then that depleted their football team, their choir, that kind of thing. And it didn't work well for that reason. But their students did extremely well, very successful. So we're doing a lot of dual enrollment, dual credit with them, so that we continue to be good partners and serve them.
And the students stay involved in those extracurricular
Right,
activities.
and they're able to do
That's
that.
important,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes.
I have a question. How are we looking at growing the private schools? I notice we have a good list, but how do we look, what kind of approach
So-
are we looking at to grow that?
I may need for the presidents to chime in on this one, but typically they come to us. They know about what we are doing, and it's through word of mouth, really. But the presidents are in the community all the time, as you well know. You see them there. And they work very, very hard to represent the college well and to tell our story.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item number 8. Ms. Petty, consideration and approval of final deductive change order with Muckleroy and Falls for construction services for the exterior stair tower on Trinity River Campus West Fork in the amount of $208,339.93.
Good evening. I hope you'll approve us giving you back some money on the staircase that we completed this summer. And this will shore up that contract. And it is for the $208,339. Do you have any questions?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Greenhill, seconded by Ms. Ayala. Any questions, comments, discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item. Sorry.
I just asked if we had any pictures.
We
No
don't
pictures
this
of
evening,
the-
but we have lots of pictures. It actually turned out quite well. And that was a little bit of a difficult project to have an exterior staircase blend in with the architecture of that building. And I would think most people wouldn't even know that it was added. So,
Great.
thank you.
Item number 9, consideration and approval of contract with Mart, Inc. to provide construction services for renovation of the police substation in the Student Center Building and Student Commons Area and Math Emporium Building on South Campus in the amount of $819,833. Motion to approve, Mr. Heed.
Second.
Second, Dr. Evans. Questions, comments?
As we discussed in the governance meeting, this started as a request from our police, but it is a multi-phased renovation project that will actually impact a number of folks, including our police. So it's important because it started as a safety issue, but it is also going to make better space for our supplementary instruction center, Math Emporium, and then it'll include updated floors and finishes, lighting, fire alarm adjustments, also some mechanical, electrical, plumbing updates, which are important for code compliance, and then it's going to create a nice flex space too. So I know Dr. Jordan and his team are excited about getting this done.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 10, consideration and approval of 3-year Adobe Enterprise Term License Agreement in the amount of $443,841 over the 3-year period. Motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Dr. Evans, seconded by Mr. Greenhill. Questions of Mr. Ragu?
All right, thank you.
We're making this too easy on you. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, consideration and approval of 2-year contract extension agreement with AT&T to provide data center co-location facility in the amount of $231,420 over a 2-year period. Motion to approve, Mr. Heed.
Second.
Seconded by Dr. Patrick. Again, if you're new to the process, we've been over all of this material with lots of explanations and questions of our staff, and so please know that we're not just rubber stamping. All right, all those in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Ragu.
Thank you.
Mr. Gates, a consideration and approval of 1 contract extension agreement with Open Channels Group to provide public relations and marketing services and the purchase of marketing and media advertising placements in the amount of $1 million, not to exceed. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Greenhill.
Second.
Seconded by Dr. Evans. Questions of Mr. Gates? Do you have any show and tell you want to?
No, I was going to try to Guhan silence.
What?
This is actually a blanket purchase order for our media buys and placements, as well as naming OCG for a 1-year extension as our agency of record.
You don't pull up much in the way of print anymore that we're not front and center, And I know there's some other efforts already in place for new ads. and
Exposure. Yes, ma'am.
Exposure. Good term, better than ads. All right, all those in favor of item number 12? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Gates. Ms. Robinson, consideration and approval of 2017-18 insurance renewal in an estimated amount of $1,266,036. Did I say that right? Motion to approve. Mr. Heed, seconded by Dr. Evans. Questions of Ms. Robinson? You all had some questions about who and what was insured, or is everybody clear and clarified on that? Yes. Okay. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Monthly financial report, Dr. McClendon.
Good evening. Financial September 2017. External audit continues to work with our financial staff to complete our external audit, and we plan to present to you the results in the month of November. This report covers the first month of our fiscal year. We reviewed all revenue and expenses greater than 15%, and 1 month is equal to 1/12, which is 8%. So if we use that, we will make comments about these items. If we look at the total revenue, it's expected. It was compared to total income is at 10.4%. It is comparable to what we expect in our collections, and it's also comparable to what we had last year. Expenses. Now, we reviewed all items that are greater than 15%, and Finance and I have reviewed all items that are greater than 15%, and the majority of those encumbrances exist as those only as encumbrances. There is one exception this time, and this exception will be corrected in the month of December because it's an audit entry. So while it does have a high percentage, it will be corrected in December. Overall, our education and general expenses are 8.6% versus 8%, and so that is quite in order.
Questions of Dr. McClendon?
You said that we're going to have the audit report will be next month?
Yes, sir.
What is our protocol now? Do they come to the Audit Finance Committee first, or come to? I don't care which one.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to have a Audit Finance Committee meeting next month, do you think?
Yes, sir. They would
so they'll come to. Okay, all right.
They would come to you first to show you the findings, and then they'd come to the.
So we'll schedule one. Somebody just make a note that we'll schedule a meeting at some point when they want to come.
Yes, sir.
And we can meet. Okay.
And it'll have to be early because our governance committee meeting is on the 7th and the board meeting's on the 14th, so everything's pushed back a little bit. So
it'll be exciting.
Well, you better get them. Get Weaver going, huh?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Some of the items on that last sheet were 28, 29%.
Those are encumbrances is where we have. The one that we wanted to show you that what an encumbrance means is it's reflected more than one period. The one that we wanted to actually highlight is there's, if we look at media technology, you would see that one is sitting on it's sitting on 62.8%. And what that means is that's an adjusted entry, that when we adjust the things on, it's an expenditure, that when it comes in, the adjusted entries that we always do within our external audits, it's going to bring it back into everything. So that's why we highlighted that 62.8%, not to worry, because it's what it is it'll come back to what it is its normal consumption. Okay? When you see items that are greater than the 8 points, they're encumbrances, and what they are is they basically are things like insurance. That could be something like a technology contract. If you look at custodial, we'll have a contract that serves a greater period. So that's why you're having a bigger percentage of that through the encumbrance that they have so far.
So they get paid up front, like in advance or whatever? Or
no, sir. No. I didn't say that they got paid in front. I said that it reflected for more than one period on the encumbrance. On some of the contracts, like, for example, for a software license, they get paid entirely. And so you could buy a software license that benefits you more than 1 month. And so you're taking, and since this is modified accrual accounting, it's versus accrual accounting, that's why the encumbrance shows that, sir. All right. Okay.
Other questions or comments? Thank you, Dr. McClendon.
Okay, so we're going to look at our investments right now. So if we look at our pools, we have a decrease of 18.6 mil, which just means that we have used our money for operations, and the money is, as we expected, will be coming in the next months. If we look at our U.S. agencies, we only have an adjustment, that it's a market adjustment, which is about $400,000. Our total beginning balance is $284 million. Our decrease is $19 million, like we mentioned above, and our ending balance is $265.7 million. If we look at our yield, it's 1.2% compared to the T-bill of 0.99, with a spread of 0.28, and our WAM is 396 days versus 365.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Gobin has a staff introduction to make, please.
Thank you. Come on up, Chris. Mrs. Appleman, Dr. Giovannini, and members of the board. It is a pleasure to share with you a new member, quasi-new, because he's been working at TCC already. But as many of you know, Eddie Gallagher retired from directing the operations of the college newspaper, the Collegian, after working at TCC for 47 years. And so as sorry as we were to see her go, we're equally thrilled to invite Chris to meet you this evening. In the interview process for this, the reason that I'm introducing this is many, many years ago, there were multiple newspapers on different campuses, and when they were all combined into one, it was located on Northeast Campus. So Chris teaches in the journalism field on our campus. And for that work, he works with the academic division. He also reports collectively to all of the campus presidents, but to me on paper because of proximity and just managing his vacation times or budget approvals or whatnot. For the interview process, we had a broad representative team from all of the campuses. And Dr. Pete Jordan joined me for the final interview, and thanks and much appreciation to you, Pete. It was a great experience, and we really are excited about Chris. So Chris Whitley is our new Director of Student Publications. He has taught at TCC for 9 years as an instructor of journalism and an advisor for the Collegian. In that time, the Collegian has twice been named the best 2-year college weekly newspaper in America by the College Media Association. The Collegian has also twice been nominated for the Associated Collegiate Press Pacemaker Award, which is considered the Pulitzer Prize of college journalism. Before TCC, Chris was advisor for the Shorthorn, the University of Texas at Arlington's student newspaper. He was a longtime contributing writer to the Dallas Morning News, an interactive producer at WNBC in New York, and a staff writer at newspapers in Ohio and Texas. And I'm thrilled to introduce you to Chris Whitley. Chris?
Thank you, Dr. Gobin. It's an honor for me to be here and to have succeeded Eddie Gallagher. And I say succeeded because when you've worked here for 47 years, you can't be replaced. Eddie Gallagher can't be replaced. I'm just keeping her seat warm. And her legacy is continuing. As Dr. Gobin mentioned, we will find out next Saturday. The Collegian staff will be at the National College Media Convention in Dallas this year. And we will find out then if we are the winners of the Pacemaker Award, which is college journalism's highest honor. So if you hear a cheer coming from Dallas next Saturday, you know that we did okay. So, and by the way, I also want to point out our editor-in-chief, Catherine Kellman, and the work that her and her dedicated staff has done to make this happen. But we can move forward. We're hoping to build on our success, to grow our program more, to make it more reflective of our college as a whole. I've been meeting with all the college presidents. I hope to have met them all by the end of the semester and visit every campus. I believe that our audience expects the diversity. Our paper should reflect the diversity of our college, and we're working toward doing that. And we also are working toward becoming a more digital product so that our students have the tools they need to meet jobs in the 21st century. So one last thing I just want to say is that any success that we have had is thanks to your support. I'm proud to be working at a college where the leadership supports student media, and I just wanted to say thank you. So thank you, and I look forward to getting to work. Thank you.
Good. Dr. Gobin, I apologize, I got distracted. Did you mention Miss Gallagher's, or Chris, the induction into the Hall of Honor or Fame or
Yes,
whatever?
forgive me.
Please,
That's true. 2 weeks ago, Eddie Gallagher was inducted into the Texas Community College Journalism Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Which is its highest honor. We're also proud of the fact that there are only 3 members of that Hall of Fame currently, and 2 of them are TCC journalism instructors.
Yeah.
Diane Turner, the late Diane Turner was the other one. So we're, as if we needed another reason to be proud of Eddie. So we're very proud.
No pressure, Chris.
I just started.
Don't let the girls get you down.
Thank you.
46 years, we expect you to.
Yes, I'll report to the board in 2053, I guess.
Something like that. No, we are very proud of our student newspaper. Dr. Giovannini?
Certainly, I'd like to draw the attention to the board to October 7th through 11th in the report you have before you, where the National Association of Community College Entrepreneurship held their 2017 annual conference in Tampa. And as the board chair, well, now former board chair, because I'm done as of the end of the conference, as the board chair, I convened the conference there with a host of activities, more than the dinners that you see reflected there were board meetings, hosting a president's track, and we're very proud of that, in that we had over 40 presidents attend that, and we never had more than 12 or 13. We hosted a number of funders in the 13 to 15 range. We never had more than a half a dozen. Folks who would not return our phone calls not too long ago are now calling us to be involved and engaged. So we had good participation from industry partners, foundations, and federal government agencies who are quite interested in the work that we're doing. And when we say work, we mean the association, the members of the association, and then collectively as each member of the association, and collectively as groups. It's an organization that prides itself on members serving members. Therefore, a lot of the benefit that comes to being a member is actually delivered through other board members. A handful of folks joined me in Tampa, Tarrant folks, primarily because you have a little influence when you're the board chair. Next year, 2018, we will host the NACCE conference right next door at the Omni, and you're looking at 450 to 500 participants in that. So next October, we will be hosting that. We'll have some opportunities to present ourselves, if you will, not only with speakers, but also with the organization gives out a Lifetime Achievement Award in entrepreneurship, and that is intended to be someone that this college, would recommend. So it's good exposure, and it's been successful to date. So thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to those of you who accompanied Dr. Giovannini and sold the group on coming to Fort Worth next year. Anything else? Anything else? I apologize, Daniel Bennett, where are you? I think your card got shuffled into the previous groups, and you've been very patient, and we'd like to call you.
I want to thank you for augmenting your long schedule this evening. Mrs. President, Ms. Appleman, President, that's the right way to address you. Yes, ma'am. And board members, my name is Daniel Bennett. I am a nominee for Tarrant County Appraisal District Board. The city-wide settlement unbeknownst to me, voted 5-0 to ask me to be their representative. And I'll tell you why they did that. It's because I have been dealing with TAD for so many years, and I bring them reports that they're unaware of things that, because they aren't as involved with TAD as I am. And I have a resume, since I'm now the nominee, I like to provide to the board. And may I give the resumes to
I'll take them.
A total of
Thank
number
you.
of,
Mhm.
there'll be a total of eight.
7 of us.
7.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
At some point, we actually vote on your, on the board of the TAD.
Yes, ma'am.
Appraisal district, so.
Well, I'm here to ask you for your vote this evening and to earn your vote. I want to focus on 3 Cs as a candidate, and I certainly want to address any concerns the board may have when they deal with TAD. That will make me a much better candidate. I find that the competency, efficiency, and transparency seems to be an issue at TAD. And this is something I want to focus on. I have specific examples on all 3 categories that I think need addressed. And the efficiency part, I think, mostly deals with the board dealing with TAD itself and how they deal with the taxing entities. I was talking to a commissioner, not in Tarrant County, but in another county, asking him his opinion on how other counties do their business. He says one of the biggest things they have is people not showing up and asked to show up and give reports. And I have witnessed that personally at TAD for our city. And so issues like this need to be addressed. And I want to just ask you all, can we look at the election this time and look at it more for your constituents, people that are inside your governing districts, which is the entire county? I'm doing that for all the smaller towns. I want to do it for Fort Worth and all the ISDs. And I'd like to answer any questions and be available at any time. I can come in and set up a time, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. And I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, and we wish you well.
Thank you.
Appreciate your efforts.
Madam Chair.
Dr. Patrick has asked for a moment of personal privilege, so.
Yes, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Madison for our fabulous tour of the Trinity River campus. The programs that are taking place there in the health occupations are just absolutely amazing. I'm just so proud of the work you're doing there and what you're doing for our community in providing these much-needed professionals is very much appreciated. It was also a treat when touring the facility that I was able to get my picture made with none other than Nurse Louise Appleman's nurse's uniform. Isn't that darling? And that's just so cute up there. It's displayed proudly there in the nursing building, and we were just wanting to share that with everyone. I think it's really, really nice. Thank you for letting them do that.
I'm
thank
told
you for
the young, or the nursing students of today go by that cabinet and think, did they really wear all that stuff? White stockings and white shoes and a cape and starch dress and a cap. You had to have a cap.
It's all there, your shoes
and
too.
It's all right there. It's like, about something like that.
But again, thank you for the tour. The tour was wonderful. Thank
Madam
you.
Chair,
Said I wanted to thank Dr. Madison for the tour. She did not tell me about that part. I'm getting her Snickers from her.
I was having technical difficulties earlier.
Madam Chair, there's one more thing that happened during this month. We had the grand opening on the Northwest campus of the Workforce Center. Did we talk about that and shout out about that? That was a wonderful event. Some of us were there, and it was a great event, and thank you.
Cohabitate with Workforce Solutions. And I
Workforce
think
Solutions,
the goal
yeah.
is every campus, right?
Yeah.
And they are thrilled to be with us. We're glad to have them nearby. All right, we're going to recess into closed session, deliberation of real property, section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code, deliberation on personnel matters, section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code, in consultation with our attorney, section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. We will return to this room at the conclusion of that session. right, we reconvene at 8:02 p.m., and we have 3 items of action. Dr. Patrick, you are our first motion,
Yes,
please.
I move that we accept the Chancellor's proposed goals for 2017-18.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I'd just like to add that these goals will be published on our website.
Thank you. Mr. Heed?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the second amendment to the report. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the second amendment to the Chancellor's contract.
Second.
Seconded by Dr. Evans. Any questions, comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ms. Ayala?
Okay. The approval of Tarrant County College District Section 457F, ineligible deferred compensation plan. The next order of business was a review of the Tarrant County College District Section 457F, ineligible deferred compensation plan of the district and the form of deferred compensation agreement, and approval of the Tarrant County College District Section 457F, ineligible deferred compensation plan, and form of deferred compensation agreement. After thorough discussion upon motion duly made and seconded, the following resolutions were unanimously adopted. Resolved that the Tarrant County College District Section 457F, ineligible deferred compensation plan of the district and the related form of deferred compensation agreement attached hereto, which have previously been examined by all of the trustees of the district, hereby are adopted effective September 1st, 2017, as the official 457F plan of the district, and the secretary hereby is directed to identify the form of 457F plan and related form of deferred compensation agreement so adopted, and so cause the identified copies thereof to be placed and maintained in the official minute book of the district. Resolved further, that pursuant to Section 2.1 of the 457F plan, the board hereby approves Eugene V. Giovannini as an eligible employee in the 457F plan for the 2018 plan year beginning January 1st, 2018. Resolved further that pursuant to Sections 2.2 and 2.3 of the 457F plan, Giovannini may, subject to completion and execution of a deferred compensation agreement and submission of that deferred compensation agreement to the district before November 1st, 2017, defer up to $75,000 of his compensation as defined in Section 1.7 of the 457F plan that would otherwise be payable to him during the 2018 plan year. Resolved further that the appropriate officers of the district hereby are authorized, empowered, and directed to execute the 457F plan and the executed and completed deferred compensation agreement in the name of and on behalf of the district. Resolved further that the appropriate officers of the district hereby are authorized, empowered, and directed to execute and deliver on behalf of the district all other documents, including powers of attorney, make changes to the terms or the form of the 457 plan as they consider to be necessary or appropriate, and take all other action as may be necessary or appropriate in order to implement the 457F plan without obtaining further authority from the board. And resolved further that the appropriate officers of the district hereby are authorized, empowered, and directed to do or cause to be done all such acts and things, and to pay or cause to be paid all such fees, costs, expenses, and taxes as may be by them in their sole discretion, deemed to be desirable or necessary in order to carry out the purposes and intent of these resolutions, and that all the acts and doings of such officers of the district which are consistent with the purposes and intent of these resolutions shall be, and the same hereby are, in all aspects ratified, confirmed, and approved.
A motion to approve and a second by Mr. Greenhill. Any discussion, questions, comments? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Our governance committee meeting will be November 7th and the board meeting November 14th.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.